It's Kimon here, and I've been meaning to do this video for a bit. I've been putting it off because, I'm not gonna lie, I've actually been a bit scared. I've been a bit scared of showing my old self to the world, I guess. I'll show you a picture here. So a little backstory about this picture is that my dad sent me this picture probably a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago or something. I just want to make it clear that I did not look like this all day around. This was during one of my low days. Fun story about this picture, I've had a super big night. I was super hungover. I woke up in my dad's basement where my old room used to be. And I went up into the kitchen and I just looked so disgusting, right, as you can see, that my dad had to snap a picture first thing he did in the morning. So this is what I used to look like 5 years ago. This is probably the fall of 2017, before I had my spiritual awakening, before I decided to change my life forever. This is something that I'm absolutely super passionate about. I love to help people transform their lives. I love to help people with fitness, nutrition, everything that comes into the sort of self-improvement area. And if I can inspire people to do the same in their life, because I know that how I used to look back then, I might smile in that picture, but I was super depressed. I was not happy with anything in my life. I remember how I used to think about myself. I couldn't name one good thing about myself. And that was really fucking bad. So stick around, because in this video I'm gonna talk about 3 things that I did to transform my own life. So obviously during this time I was way heavier than I am right now. Today I weighed in at 75 kilos, something like that. And back then I used to weigh 93, 94. Basically, what's that, 18, 19 kilos that I've lost over the last 5 years. And I built a lot more muscle. So the first thing that I actually did was, obviously, after my spiritual awakening, which actually happened in the gym, was me to start training like crazy. I started a good fitness routine. I used to identify as a person that was lazy. I always took shortcuts. I always did something that was gonna... I always tried to take the easy way out. And what I think fitness does is that it teaches you discipline, because I had none of that. I just took shortcuts. I was addicted to instant pleasures to try and escape my pain, because I was feeling a lot of pain. For you guys that has watched my previous videos, you know that I've always had this force pulling me forward. And during that time of my life, I did everything I could to, I guess, numb myself from that force pulling me forward. And I do think that most people have this force that wants them to go after things, but they're too afraid of pursuing that because they're too scared of what people are gonna think and everything like that. So the best thing that's ever happened to me, obviously, was my spiritual awakening. If you haven't seen my video on spiritual awakening, I'll link it up here, and you can watch that one. I've mentioned it a bunch of times on my videos before, but it happened in the gym, and I took that as a sign. So obviously I started training 4, 5, 6 days a week. It was a proof to myself that I could achieve things that I set my mind to, because I was so lost in instant gratification things that my vision was so shrouded of things that I didn't believe that I was able to reach my goals, basically. And that's very sad, and I think fitness is the best catalyst for you to prove that to yourself. You set yourself a goal, you realize that you're actually able to do things that you promised yourself, and you realize that even the loss that actually benefits of weight loss works for you too. People that says that they've tried everything to lose weight, I don't think you've tried everything. I don't think you've tried eating in a calorie deficit, because that's the only thing that works to lose weight. You gotta eat less energy than you burn. That's how you lose weight, and that's what I did, and it did work for me, obviously. So fitness was one thing that absolutely revolutionized my life. Everything that goes into that as well is obviously nutrition, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. So the other thing I did was obviously to start educating myself more on nutrition and what is good to put into your body, what your body needs, my macronutrients, meaning fats, proteins, carbohydrates, everything that I need to function and feel better. I eat so healthy nowadays that whenever I have like something unhealthy, like fries for example, that's a good example, because when I have something unhealthy, I actually feel like shit. And it's a good sort of reminder that whatever we put into our bodies is just bullshit. Like, I try to fuel myself, my body and my nervous system and my mind in the best way possible for me to function and be as energized and motivated and being able to tackle on the day in the best way possible. A good nutrition is not only gonna make you feel better, it's gonna make you look better, and when you look better, your confidence is obviously gonna go up as well. Basically what you wanna look for, you wanna stay away from processed foods. Processed foods is a lot of foods with a shit ton of ingredients that we don't even know what they are. So basically, you want to have food that has like one ingredient, right? And then obviously you're going to want to have other foods as well, but you want to stay away from like super ultra processed foods or whatever, stuff like that. And then I can guarantee you, if you eat healthy for 4 weeks, no cheat meals, no fries, no ice cream, whatever, your life is gonna change. Like, and you'll notice that when you go back to eating unhealthy again, if you do, you're gonna feel like shit. Your energy is gonna be low. You're gonna feel like you're gonna feel like you're doing something bad to your body. Meditation is, I think, the most important thing that I've ever started in my life. Obviously, the combination between fitness, nutrition, and all the other things that goes into self-improvement has been revolutionizing for me, but I don't think that anything has been as revolutionizing as meditation, because what meditation has taught me is that emotions are just emotions. Emotions are always going to be here in our body. We're always going to be made up of thoughts and emotions. And if we are going to be the ones that's going to be controlled by these two, emotions and thoughts, then we're not going to be able to achieve basically anything in our life. Because if you're a person that's going to be controlled by your fear, you're always going to do what your fear tells you to do. You're always going to succumb to your fear, meaning that every time you're scared about something, you're going to listen to your fear and you're never going to pursue that. And that's how we create a small life. If you want to create a big life, if you want to transform your life, if you want to do something that is going to change you as a person, you need to do something that's going to be outside of your comfort zone, right? Because you have done something repeatedly in your life that has put you into the position that you're in right now. And meditation helps us realize that we're so much more than just our thoughts and our emotions. We are the awareness behind those two things. We are the awareness that experience our thoughts. We are the awareness that experience our emotions. We are not them. We can actually take a step back and realize that, oh, I'm actually the one experiencing my fear. I'm actually the one listening to my thoughts. Meditation actually creates this space in between you and your thoughts and emotions. You are the one having them. You are the one observing them. It means that you're going to realize that you are so much more powerful than you've been led to believe. Meditation lets you realize your inner power. And I remember the first time I sat down and meditated, my mind thought to itself, or my mind showed me pictures, or it was a voice obviously telling me that, why the fuck are you doing this? Like, look at how stupid you look, right? And that's what the mind is going to tell us. The funny thing with how the mind works is 5% of what we're thinking are willful thoughts, meaning that those thoughts we control. So for example, you can picture a strawberry right now, and you'll see a strawberry in your head, right? 95% of what we're thinking are automatic thoughts. So all the suffering, for example, when you experience stress, when you experience anxiety, those are automatic. Like, you would never do that to yourself. You would never choose to suffer consciously, right? Like, you would never walk around and be like, oh, I haven't felt anxiety now in a bit, time to feel anxiety, right? You would never do that. So it's important for you to know that 95% of what we're thinking are automatic thoughts, and it just happens. We see something that reminds us about something and we feel a bit stressed or anxious, and then our emotions respond to our thoughts. We're thinking stressful thoughts, we're gonna start feeling stress. And when we start feeling stress, we're gonna start thinking more stressful thoughts. And that means that we're gonna start experiencing more stress, creating more thoughts, and it's just a never-ending downward spiral down into stress hell, right? Meditation lets you take a step back and realize that, oh, a stressful thought, okay, I don't have to interact with it. I don't have to be this emotion. I don't have to be this thought, right? So the reason I'm here in Australia right now is because I decided to start meditating, because I detached myself from the fear I experienced, from pursuing everything I wanted, from listening to this force pulling me forward. I detached from the belief of like being judged by people, because I was super scared of that too. And that's usually where the fear of failure comes too from, by the way. The fear of judgment from failing. It's not the real failure, it's the fear of what actually people are gonna think when you do something and you fail. So, the most important thing I've ever started in my life, and the reason that I've been able to do this transformation that I've done, is mostly because of my mindset shift and stopped identifying myself as being lazy. I've started becoming way more accepting, compassionate, loving to myself. And meditation actually has a lot to do with me changing that mindset. So, best thing I've ever done. So looking back 5 years when I started meditating, I felt extremely stupid. The mind was going crazy. But that's usually how it works when you're gonna start meditating. It's like learning a new skill. It's gonna feel uncomfortable first. But once you let yourself sit back and relax, you're gonna realize that there's much more there to find out about yourself. Yeah. So I gotta say, it's been like the craziest fucking journey of my life. If I were to go back in time and say to myself that you're gonna be in Australia, you're gonna work as a PT, you're gonna help people achieve their dream physique, and you're gonna teach people how to live healthier lives, I would have laughed and like punched myself in the nuts or something, because I would never, ever, ever, ever have believed that, because I was so stuck in my own mind, I was so stuck in my own ways, I was so stuck in distractions with bullshit. It's easy to think that when you're in a rut, when you're in a dark place, like I was depressed for example, it's easy to think that that's gonna be going on forever. Like you rarely think to yourself when you have a good time, oh, this good period of my life is gonna be forever, right? You always know that the good part is gonna end, but for some reason you never think that way when you're in a dark place, right? You always think that that's gonna be the case and that you're always gonna be stuck there. But that's not the truth. I've been able to go from somebody that hated myself to say that I love myself, and I actually help people to do the same now. I help people to go from places that they don't want to be into places that they are absolutely super proud of. And I can guarantee you too, if you try a good fitness routine, if you try to eat healthy, if you start educating yourself on nutrition, and if you start meditating, these 3 things, they're gonna change your life. Like there's no other way, it's gonna happen. The question is if you're ready for it. Are you ready for a change? Because some people say that they are, but they're not really. They feel comfortable in that. And I can tell you this as well, that when you're gonna start changing, you're gonna start feeling uncomfortable, because the change, even though it might be positive change, it's gonna feel new, which creates discomfort because it's gonna be outside of your comfort zone. So what you wanna do is to stick to that. When those uncomfortable emotions arise, embrace them. Face your fears, go against your mind. That's the only way to change. And these 3 things, fitness, nutrition, meditation, they're gonna change your life. Period. If I can inspire a couple of people to do the same, then a little bit of the suffering on the planet is gonna get reduced, right? And that's one of the reasons I feel like I'm here. I want to teach people how to suffer less, so this video is for you guys. This video is for you guys who wants to change. Trust me, try these 3 things and you are going to experience a transformation. That's how easy it is. Anyway, I really hope that you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram as well. It's Kimmen. I'll link it down in the description below. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and I will definitely see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Peace.